Hey everybody, so I got an ultrasonic cleaner. This is meant more for like cleaning jewelry and stuff, but I saw recently somebody using one to clean rocks for rock tumbling. And since I do a lot of rock tumbling these days, I thought this would be perfect. Now this only has two functions, heat and time, or two settings pretty much. So you can't really go wrong there. Now depending on the temperature that you want for cleaning, heavier duty cleaning, you want a higher temperature of course. And then if you have things that are probably a little softer, porous, I think it actually recommends not to put it in these much. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'll turn it on here in just a second to show you. Now I just did a batch of some of my rocks and I ran the rocks through a strainer under the sink multiple times and I thought they were really clean. And well, no, you actually will find a lot more sand and a lot, well, just everything in these rocks. And you can use this for just about everything. You can use it for shells, you can use it for jewelry, you could use it, well, anything that will fit in here pretty much. Now this is a smaller unit. It's not quite as large, but for me, for what I'm doing, it's perfect. It comes with this little basket and you can put a decent amount of rocks in here. It's also large enough where it will fit like one or two larger rocks depending on what you're collecting. Now I don't go too large with mine or they won't fit in the tumblers either. As for, oh, also it does come with a lid and you can put the lid on while it's being used or just for storage. Now I do find with the lid on it, it seems to be a little bit louder and the sound of this does affect some people. Some people don't like the sound of it, but I'm gonna go ahead and, so the first one, you can set the temperature. Right now it's on 50 degrees Celsius. Also, it does come with a manual which will let you know the conversions for the temperatures as well. For us Americans who don't use that system. So at 50 degrees, we would be looking at 122 Fahrenheit right now. And apparently this goes all the way up to 80 Celsius or 176. And right now I have it, I believe at 50. You don't have to put it very high if you don't like. So you set the temperature that you want and hit the power button. Now, right now it's at the temperature that we need. I already turned it on ahead of time. It does take a few minutes for the water to get heated up, but the first batch, I actually did it with colder water and it came out pretty well. I did run it for a little bit longer though. As for the time, it is in minutes, and this is recommended to run no more than like 30 minutes at a time. So I've had it, another reason why I've had it off for just a little bit so it can kind of rest a little bit. But we'll go ahead and turn it on. I'm just going to set it for 10 minutes right now. And you're going to hear this like buzzing sound. And for some people, they can't stand it. It doesn't bother me too much. I actually started getting used to it, listening to it for a few minutes. You can put the lid on. As you see, the lid will actually rattle more. And it produces more noise. I choose not to use the lid. But just let it run like this for a few minutes, or as long as you wish. And also for those that are curious about it, this is 100 watts of power. Now you'll see some bubbles from the ultrasonic vibrating in there. Also, they do say that you could use a cleaner. I'm just going to use some Dawn Power Wash, and that will help wash everything as well. Now we'll just let it sit and run for a few minutes, and then I'll show you the results from it. Now I forgot to mention, it does come with one of these little baskets. Kind of looks like a tea basket in a way. And this, you can put like rings and stuff in here, smaller stuff. I don't have any jewelry. I don't wear rings. The only thing I wear is a watch. All right, now once the time runs out, all it's going to do is just power off, and that's it. The heat function will actually still run until you power that off. Right now it's at temperature, so it's not on, of course. But if the temperature was to drop, it would power back on unless you power it off. I forgot to mention there is a switch in the back for master power. You flip that, and it will turn the whole unit off. Now, the water does get a little hot, like I mentioned, and for some people it might be a little too hot. So be careful if these little handles fell in so you don't burn yourself. And the one for that little cage fell in as well. So let's go ahead and get that out. I don't think the water is too horrible for my hands anyway, but for some people this would be pretty warm and sensitive. But let's go ahead and take a look. So the water looks cloudy. Doesn't look quite as cloudy as the last one, but I ran the last one a bit longer, plus it had more porous rocks in that one, so it probably had a lot more sand trapped. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull these out here. It's a little bit of soapy water on the top, so it's definitely, oh, it actually looks a lot cloudier now that I'm pulling these out and looking. And then you can take the basket over and you can rinse them off quite easily. All right, now these rocks are extra clean, so I'll go ahead and add them to the others. I'm gonna go ahead and unplug the unit, and then we're gonna pour that water out so I get a closer look at it. So we got some sand there at the bottom. All right, so not quite as dirty as that first batch, but it still got quite a bit out, especially for only running it for a few minutes. And if I ran it for a little bit longer, probably would have got even more. The first batch, I also ran it for about 15 minutes, so a few extra minutes compared to it. And like I mentioned, as long as it fits in here, you're good. So you can fit some larger stuff. So I do have like some larger rocks I'm gonna get cleaned up. I gotta polish, but I gotta work on some tumblers. But you'll be able to fit a pretty decent size object in here. So whether it's jewelry, you wanna use this for rocks, or like small tools. I mean, you won't be able to put big tools in here. But you know, if you just want to clean some objects, ultrasonic cleaning does work really well. You could even throw your toothbrushes and stuff in here, clean it out, throw your toothbrushes in, crank up that heat, and well, clean it up. Anyway, this is my quick video on the ultrasonic cleaner. I think it works really well. I may actually invest into a larger unit for other projects and for larger quantities at a time. But if you are looking for an ultrasonic cleaner, I would recommend this one. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.